I'm sure every math teacher can attest to this question. Why do we need math? What's the point of this? Why do we have to learn this? When will I ever use this in real life? In this documentary, we'll talk about how and why we use math, different careers that use math, and how we use math in our everyday lives. Whether you like math or not, math is everywhere. We have to learn to appreciate it because it's all around us. Everywhere you look, many careers that you take, different aspects of life that you wouldn't expect to involve math, really do. Math has to do with logical thinking, problem solving, so many important aspects of our everyday life. This picture shows just some of the many different careers that involve math. This is another example that shows 82 different jobs that involve math. Some of them are sports administrator, pilot, commercial driver, lawyer, animal care technician, geographer, choreographer. As you can see, these are a wide range of careers that all involve math. Now, there are some careers that involve way more math than others. For example, being a doctor, being a computer analyst where you have to understand algorithms, logarithms, codes, patterns, logic. Being an architect even is way more than just designing a building. You need to understand angles, you need to understand force, which involves math, you need to understand size, height, every little detail in architect is math. Even being an artist, believe it or not, involves math. You need to understand how much of a product to buy. You need to understand the ratios of colors, which involves math. You need to understand how big of a canvas to get. Anything with proportions in art, that's math. Even being a chef involves ratio, proportions, fractions, knowing how to multiply, divide fractions, the correct proportion of food. All of that is math too. And if you want to do anything involving sports, knowing statistics, knowing averages, knowing what they really mean, you have to understand math for it. Regardless of the career or job you choose, math helps with your logic, your critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. Especially when doing word problems, it allows you to think logically through a problem, critically think about the step-by-step process, which is something we all go through in our everyday lives. While thinking about a budget is something that's miles away for some of you, you have to realize how important math is for that. You have to understand your income, how much money you make versus how much money you have to spend. You have to realize how much money rent is, food is, your electric bill, your phone bill, water, clothes, how much you spend on that per month versus how much you make and how much you can live off of. Let's face it, we all love a good sale, but how do we know if a sale is even worth it? Using math, you have to know how to find percents, how to figure out sales tax, how to determine if a sale is even worth all the money you're going to spend. Another way we use percents in our everyday life is when it comes to tipping. Think about when you go out to eat with your friends, there's always a big issue of how much money do each of you leave for tip. If you understand percents and can calculate them quickly, this will no longer be an issue. While college may seem like a long time away, you have to start thinking about money. College costs a lot of money, and you have to start thinking about what exactly are loans, how interest rate works, when you have to start paying them back, what your monthly fee is going to be to pay them back. All of that has to do with math, and it could be something that's a huge factor later in your life. There will be a time in your life where you want to travel across the world. But before you do that, you have to make a budget to know how much money you spend overseas, to know how much flights are going to cost, hotel, food, souvenirs. You also need to understand some conversions like US dollars to euros. That can make a big difference in how much money you spend, and that's math you'd have to be able to do quickly and understand how to calculate. Now, what about those of you that are interested in nutrition, eating healthy, working out? You have to understand your macros, your daily intake of calories versus how much you're burning, how many carbs, fats, proteins you're taking in, be able to calculate their percentage, their ratio. All of that has to do with math, and it's an important part of taking care of yourself. And remember, whenever you think math is not important, just think of this comic strip. So if you ever have that thought, why do I need math? Why do I need to learn this? Remember all of the various parts math has in your life, whether it's the job you have, the money you make, anything like that, that all is an important part of math in our everyday lives.